Talking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his associates, and now we're talking something about the six Goswamis last time. So I want to continue. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed away, left, so very soon after that, the other members of the Panchatattva, means Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur, they also left. They couldn't endure being in the world in the absence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they left, and the leadership of the Vaishnava community then, it rested on the six Goswamis. So at that time, Shri Rup Sanatan, they were the leaders, they were in Vrindavan. And they were the leaders of the six Goswamis. Then, soon after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, or after Damodar Goswami left, then Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, he came to Vrindavan. I described that already. And he went to Radha Kund. Soon after that, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came. Kaviraj Goswami, he was already aged. He was very faithful devotee of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And there was an incident in his house. One devotee of Lord Nityananda came, Abhiram Thakur. So he was like Avadut. And when he came, the Pujari, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he was living with his brothers. And the Pujari there didn't pay any respect to Abhiram Thakur, although Abhiram Thakur, he was extremely elevated devotee, and like a representative of Nityananda Prabhu. Abhiram Thakur was not happy about this, that there was no honor. So he left. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he argued with his brothers that this is a great offense. You're appreciating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but you're not appreciating Nityananda Prabhu. Reason was, Nityananda Prabhu was quite a puzzle to most people. First of all, he was like a madman. And then secondly, he'd been sannyasi, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had told him to get married. So, in a very dramatic incident, he selected his bride, Janava Devi. Her father, although knowing that Nityananda Prabhu was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, refused. And Nityananda Prabhu left, and then Janava immediately had an epileptic fit. She was just about to pass away, or what appeared to be epilepsy. So her father ran after Nityananda Prabhu and said, "Oh, please marry my daughter." So Nityananda Prabhu came back, and immediately Janava heard his voice or smelled the aroma of his transcendental body. She came back to normal. So they were married. And then after that, during the feast, wedding feast, Nityananda Prabhu asked for the hand of Vasudha as well, her sister. So he got married to these two ladies. And this is a big problem for people in general. They couldn't figure out where Nityananda Prabhu's status at all. So consequently, a lot of people, although they might have had faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they didn't have faith in Nityananda Prabhu. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami complained about this to his brothers, and that night, Nityananda Prabhu came to him in a dream, like Baladev, surrounded by his cowherd boyfriends. And he said dressed gorgeously, and he said to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, "Go to Vrindavan, all your desires will be fulfilled." And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he woke up, and immediately he set off from Vrindavan. Immediately. So when he arrived in Vrindavan, there were many devotees there, and they requested him that you please write about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's later pastimes. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he had already described Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's early pastimes, especially his pastimes in Mayapur and Navadvip, like this. Vrindavan Das Thakur, he was the son, his mother's name was Narayani. So Narayani was the niece of Srivas Thakur. And so she used to take the remnants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when she was very, very little baby, a little girl, when she was 4 or 5 years old, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he decided to reveal that actually he was a Supreme Personality of Godhead. There was a very, very tense situation. 2 boatloads of Muslim soldiers were coming up to threaten Mayapur. And Srivas Thakur was very, very anxious about the devotees, what would happen if the Muslims came. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in. I already narrated, he's banging on the door. He says, Srivas, I'm the one you're worshipping. I'm the Lord. You offer your prayers to me. And then he said, so what if the Muslims come? You think I can't manage? I can change their minds. And it's, Narayani, come here. So Narayani came, little 3 or 4 or 5 year old girl. She said, Narayani, chant Krishna's name. So she began to chant Krishna, and then she was overwhelmed in praying. And she started rolling on the floor, crying and shivering, body changing colour, all like just a little girl. So this Narayani, when she grew up, her son was Vrindavandas Thakur. And Vrindavandas Thakur, he was a great devotee of Nityananda Prabhu. So his mood was very much in Sakhibhav, very much in friendly relationship to Krishna. He described the pastimes in Braj, in a lot of detail, not Braj, described the pastimes in Navadvip Mayapur when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there before he took sannyas. But he didn't describe many of the pastimes after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. And he didn't describe in such depth the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the tattva, Gaura tattva. So the devotees begged Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's a very, very qualified devotee. We know that Srimati Radhika has 8 very close friends, Astasaki, gopis, in Lalita, Vishaka, Chapakalata, Tunga Vijaya, like this. So they're very, very close friends of Radha and Krishna. Actually, they're expansions of Srimati Radhika's body. So in addition to the gopis who sometimes meet with Krishna, but there's also manjaris who never want to meet with Krishna. So as there's 8 main gopis, so there's also 8 manjaris, main manjaris in Krishna Leela. And those 8 manjaris are the 6 Goswamis, and then Srila Lokanath Das Goswami and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So Kaviraj Goswami, he's being in Madhuras and in Krishna Leela, a very intimate friend of Radha and Krishna, so he's fully qualified to describe all the pastimes and the tattva. So they begged him to describe these pastimes. And he went to Radha Madan Mohan temple to beg for permission, and the garland fell off Madan Mohan deity. So they gave to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and everyone was very happy. So, this is blessing from the deity to do this. So then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he went to live in Radhakund. And he lived right next to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, he'd been in Puri for so many years with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvadamada Goswami. He'd heard everything from Sarvadamada Goswami. He was under the personal protection of Sarvadamada Goswami. So he knew everything, heard everything. And then, after they left, so he went to Braj, and he came under the guidance of Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami. Especially Srila Rupa Goswami was his Shiksha Guru, Bhajan Shiksha Guru. So everything, he gave everything to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he put it in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is very, very wonderful, extraordinary, beautiful literature describing both the pastimes and the tattva of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaura tattva. So Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Saraswati Prabhupada, he used to tell his devotees to read Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is describing the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And my Guru Maharaj, he liked us to read Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Srila Gurudeva said that if one reads Chaitanya Charitamrita, then surely a greed for bhakti will come. So after Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Then afterwards, Prabhupada came. Prabhupada means Srinivasacharya, first of all. He came. He was very young. He was a young boy. He just missed meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. He went to Puri to get their darshan, and on the way he heard that they'd left. He was so grief-stricken. So he continued anyway. He had darshan of Sri Gadadhar Pandit. And then soon after that, Gadadhar Pandit also left. So he thought that he would go to Navadvip, and there he'd get darshan at least of Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur. When he got there, they'd passed away. So he became desperate. And then he set off for Vrindavan to have the association of the 6 Goswamis. And on the way, he heard that Sanatana Goswami had passed away. And then just before he got to Vrindavan, actually Rupa and Sanatana, they knew that he was coming, but they couldn't tolerate any further. And Rupa Goswami also passed away. So Srinivasacharya, he started to make a fire. And then he fell asleep, and in his dream, Rupa and Sanatana came. They said, "Oh, we'll achieve so much through you. We've written so many books, but through you, those books will be distributed." And they also appeared in dreams. Jiva Goswami and Gopal Bhatt Goswami told them that Srinivas Prabhu was coming. So Srinivas, he went to Govindaji temple, which at that time was very gorgeous, very, very tall. And there was an evening arti. So after everyone left, he was lying in the corner crying and crying, and Jiva Goswami was there. He knew that Srinivas Acharya would be. So he was looking around and he saw this boy crying, beautiful boy. So he came and introduced himself and took Srinivas under his charge, and then took him to Gopal Bhatt Goswami. Gopal Bhatt Goswami gave him initiation, Diksha. And then Srinivas Acharya started to study under Srila Jiva Goswami. After a while, they heard that Narottam Thakur was coming. So Narottam Thakur also, he studied under Srila Jiva Goswami, and he received Diksha from Srila Lokanath Das Goswami. And then sometime after that, Shyamananda Prabhu came. So Shyamananda Prabhu, he was disciple of Hridaya Chaitanya, also another very extremely elevated devotee. He came under the guidance of Srila Jiva Goswami. And while he was there, Jiva Goswami gave him the service of sweeping Sevakunj. And he said, if you find anything unusual, you only give it back to the rightful owner. So one day he was sweeping, Shyamananda Prabhu was sweeping, and he found extraordinary beautiful golden ankle bells. And he came and showed to Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Goswami was ecstatic because he understood this is something most extraordinary. So he said, only give this to the real owner. So then 2 girls came, and they said, "Oh, our Saki lost her ankle bells here. Have you found them?" And he said, "I found some ankle bells, but I'll only give them back to the person, to whom they belong. So you have to bring a Saki." So then they started chastising, "What kind of brahmachari are you? You want to see a lady?" Anyway, he insisted. So then he actually got the boon of tying on the ankle bell. And he had darshan also, Srimati Radhika. So all 3, they were completely self-realized in Manju Sarup, in Krishna Lila. And after some time, they were instructed to leave Vrindavan and go to Bengal with the books of the 6 Goswamis. So all the inhabitants of Braj were grief-stricken in separation when they were leaving. They had a big cart, and they left with the books. Jiva Goswami went for some time, and then when they got to Mathura, then the Brajbasis turned back. So they continued on, and they went to a place called Vishnupur on the way through to Bengal. And the king of Vishnupur, his name was Behambir, and he was a dacoit king. So his astrologer told him that somebody was coming with a huge treasure on a cart. So he became very excited, and he sent his men to steal the cart. So one night, when the devotees were asleep, these dacoits stole the cart. And when they woke up, they were so distraught. All the books of the Goswamis gone. They wanted to commit suicide almost. Anyway, in the end, Srinivasa Acharya, he was the oldest, so he sent the other two on to Bengal, and he stayed behind to recover the books. So he found out somehow that the king had them. And he went to the assembly of the king. So the king was listening to Srimad Bhagavatam from his pundit. And at the end, Srinivasa Acharya said, if you don't mind, I'd like to explain something. So the king said, okay, you can explain. Already the king had a dream that one very, very beautiful person would come. And when he saw Srinivas, he saw, this is the person. And he knew also, because when he got the treasure, so he lifted up the cloth. Books. So then he understood that he'd actually committed offence against a great personality, and he was very disturbed. So when he saw Srinivas, he was very happy. He said, okay, you explain that. And Srinivasa Acharya, he explained Srimad Bhagavatam in such a beautiful way. Everyone was crying. They were so happy, so satisfied. So then the king gave the books back to Srinivasa Acharya, and he and his queen became very, very faithful devotees of Srinivasa Acharya. Srinivasa Acharya continued on to Bengal. And what happened then, we'll tell next time. Hare Krishna.